And Jennifer, Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee, your net control operator for the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441-300 megahertz. River City Arcs members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you, I hope. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using their recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing, so one at a time, please. And thanks so much. We'll start with, please come now.
N6YG.
N6YG, George, thank you. Next.
7 Hotel Quebec Romeo, Neil and Antelope.
Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo, Neil, you're number 2.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec.
Bob, November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec. Thank you. You're number 3. Number 4, please come now.
November Romeo 6 Hotel, Anders.
Welcome, Anders. We don't have James tonight, unfortunately, but I think hopefully he's celebrating right now. November Romeo 6 Hotel, Anders. Number 5, please come now.
November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill, and Rosso.
November 6, Whiskey Lima Mike. Bill, thank you so much for joining us. You're number 5. And next up, number 6, please come now.
This is Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta Carol in Citrus Heights with YouTube Live.
Thank you so much, Carol, for being here, KP4MD. Number 7, please come now.
This is Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra Tom in Carmichael. Trying it again.
Tom, was that Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra?
That's correct. You got the call sign.
Copy that. Thanks so much. You're number 7. Number 8, please come now. All right. I think we are 8, including me, right now, but we may have some folks join us later. So let's start with George, number 1, N6 YG. Are you ready to send us something?
Let me check with a tone. I haven't tested this since last week, and I haven't really gone through the whole setup. So let's see if Windows is cooperating. Was there a tone?
Good tone.
All right, thank you. All right, here comes the picture. PD 120.
Alrighty then, this is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Thanks so much, George, for that transmission. I'm going to start with Neil. Neil, what do you think's going on here?
Let's kill 7HQR. As always, I have no idea what's going on here. However, the picture was good. There are a few interferences way up on top where the call letters are, but outside of that, everything was okay. Very, very few picture pops. Looks like a very interesting test station with 3 testing devices. Pardon me if I cannot identify them because I don't see a vacuum tube in sight. But on the left-hand side, there are 2 testing devices, one on the right-hand side with a blue something on top of it. There is a plastic box containers, or apparently of connectors, or on the left-hand side, and some other items on a wooden table. The Lincoln, California in the back, on the bottom, came out absolutely clean, not absolutely no marks or picture pops on it. Interesting test station. Interesting to find out exactly what George is up to. Back to that.
Thanks so much, Neil, for your comments. Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. What do you think?
Well, Neil covered it pretty well. It looks like the device that he may be testing is in the aluminum enclosure down in the bottom. I don't know if it's a bandpass filter or some kind of that. It looks like it's got a RF input on the right and maybe a switch or something with that on the left front. I don't know whether there are extra parts or those are resistors in the box on the left, but it's a nice test bench. I'd like to have that kind of stuff, and I agree with Neil. They aren't big enough to fit tubes in, so, who knows what they are. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. This is River City Arcs, Slow Scan TV Net. And NR6H, November Romeo 6 Hotel. Anders, what do you think's going on here?
Good evening, Jen and the net. I got a good picture, like Neil, the same disturbances up top, a couple of rolls across the logo up top, and pretty much perfect from that down. Nice test bench, looking at 3 big instruments. I'm sure one of them is an oscilloscope, and one is probably a VNA of some form, and maybe the one at the bottom left is a logic analyzer or something like that. Well, it's got coaxes on it. Not sure what that is, but I think they're a little bit vintage, these instruments, I think. Could be very high quality, of course, still, but modern stuff is usually digital and much smaller. And we see a good assortment of little adapters and connectors at the desk here. So something fun is going on. Looking forward to hear what it is. And R6H, back to net.
Thanks so much, Anders. So let's go back to George. N6YG, November 6, Yankee Golf. What's going on here?
I'm sure Carol remembers this picture. I probably sent this out a few years ago. That was my test bench at set up for RF at the old house. And yeah, on the right is an HP 8753D vector network analyzer. And then the device on the bottom left is a Agilent service monitor that covers from like 100 kilohertz to 6 gigahertz. I primarily use it as a signal generator because it's with a GPS stabilized oscillator connected to the back. It's really accurate, so it makes a good signal generator from audio to 6 gigahertz. And the device on the front is just part of the test kit for doing S21 measurements. And of course, and all the adapters. The interesting thing about the adapters, that's one of the aspects of RF testing that a lot of people underestimate. All those adapters are hand sourced, and almost all of them are silver plated, not the hard nickel ones. So they're really good all the way up to 3 gigahertz, 6 gigahertz, depending on the style of connector, from BNC to SMA connectors and N connectors and so on and so forth. And the little blue thing on top is actually a silicone mat. What do you call them? For cooking, you put them down. Doggone it! They come from like the 99-cent store, and they are absolutely great in the shop or lab because you can set a soldering iron directly on them, and it won't melt them, or you put something hot on them, and or just use them so things don't slide down the back of a piece of test equipment, which is pretty much what that's doing. What you don't see there is the calibration kit. I have a full Agilent calibration kit. Reset. There's a full Agilent calibration kit, both end connectors, male and female, and APC. And I use that primarily to check short opens and loads for the cheaper stuff, like the mini VNAs. If you're familiar with mini VNAs, I have one of those as well. Amazing little piece of equipment for $50. I suggest everybody buy one. I've got the H4 with the bigger screen, and those are wonderful. In fact, I've been using them for this project that we're working on. I'm tuning a 440 egg beater, and I'm using the mini VNA to tune the egg beater with. So, anyways, I've talked enough. N6YG.
N6YG, Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. Thanks so much for the explanation and a great pick today. This is the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. Started at 9 o'clock Wednesday nights. We're going to move on to Neil. Neil, are you ready to send your photo?
Yes, I'll be, but I have a question. George, when you say mini VNA, are you referring to the nano VNA, the very little one?
What did I say? Yeah, the nano VNA, the 50. The mini VNA is a different company. So yeah, the nano VNA, the little H4. That's a great little device especially as a learning experience. You can pick one of those up, and if you're not familiar with the equipment, you can learn a lot. Got a little steep learning curve, but yeah.
Yeah, I have two of them, and I have worked with it a little bit. They're still learning, like you said, but it's an incredible little device. Okay, I'm ready for PD120 if this works after my rewiring of the check, Let's see. No, I'm having no luck here. Give me a second. Okay, go ahead, Jenny, to the next one. I tested my tone before, but right now nothing is going on, so go ahead to the next one and pick me up later.
Copy that, Neil. Thanks so much. Just want to acknowledge Gary Hayes. He's out on our SlowScan CB YouTube channel, and also KK6NCT and K6VDU. They're all hanging out there. Just want to acknowledge that they're listening and watching. So that's great, and thank you very much for being with us tonight. So we're going to go to November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. Bob, you ready for a photo?
I think I may have got my things going on here.
Okay, hold, Bob.
Okay, let's give it a try. Stand by. L7HQR.
Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. Do I have anybody else who would like to join this evening in sharing their pictures? Please come now. Alright, then we're going to move on to N6WLM November 6, Whiskey Lima Mike. Bill, what do you think we got here?
Yeah, it looks like Neil had a good lunch. I see 6 dishes, well 7 dishes, with various food in them, I believe. The top left looks like cucumber, and then it looks like some salad. The top middle, the left I'm not sure what that is, maybe some kind of dessert. The bottom left looks like rice, I think, and then the bottom middle, maybe some kind of noodles. I can't tell what's on top though. And then the right is some kind of soup with something dark in the red bowl there. In the bottom is something dark, and the left, or the very far right, some kind of other broth looking thing. So I'm guessing it's some kind of fine dining restaurant or something that Neil thought was good. But good photo quality overall. Pretty crisp here. Not that many pixel pops. So it's a good copy here. N6WLM, back to that.
Thanks so much, Bill. Yeah, it looks really yummy. Kind of makes me want to have that right now. All right, Carol, KP4MD, Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta. What do you think?
Okay, this is KP4MD. Good copy picture, hardly any pixel pops whatsoever, and wow, quite a. Neil is really good about sharing these exotic pictures of different cuisine from different countries. I'm going to guess this is some kind of Japanese or Oriental dish, and I don't know if I see like a chopstick there in the foreground. I might be completely off base on that, but it looks quite appetizing, and that's all I can say. Otherwise it's got me really puzzled. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks so much, Carol. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. We'll move on to Tom, Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra. What do you think we got here? Tom, are you still with us? Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra. All right, we're going to move back up to George, November 6, Yankee Golf. What do you think Neil's got here?
I'm going to agree with Carol. I think it's either Japanese or Oriental. Fine china, the little broths on the side. It looks good. I'm glad I've already eaten dinner, which reminds me of years past doing slow scan TV. Everybody used to get mad at me because I would send out pictures of barbecue. Make everybody hungry. Now you're doing it to me, Neil. Thanks.
Thanks, N6YG. Neil, tell us what you got here.
Roger, KL7HQR. Okay, thank you for people for thinking that this was a good picture. This is part of my participation with Bob. At the last minute, what are we going to send? So what kind of picture we're going to get? This is a Japanese meal. The story behind this is that about 2 years ago, we took a cruise to Japan. And I don't know if anybody knows, but in Japan they have an organization called TFG, Tokyo Free Guides. If you contact them, let them know what days are going to be there. They have a group of volunteers to take you around Tokyo, and they're completely free. The only thing you pay for the transportation, the entry into museums or whatever, you go in their meal. They'll meet you at the airport or at the hotel, take you through the day, and then bring you back. And they're fantastic. And they ask you ahead of time, what you're interested in, history or sports or whatever it is. You make a little bit of a program. And the background on this is that we used a young lady that came and met us, and for lunch, she said, well, as Americans, we have two options. I know a place in a small part of Tokyo that is very, very small. It's about 5 tables. they have a typical Japanese meal, or we can go to Dennis. What would you prefer? Well, we definitely did not choose Dennis, and we went to this very special place, and where everybody knew them, and they absolutely welcomed us with open arms. I could not tell you what is in each dish, but this was the main meal. There were two others that we have after that with dessert, but this was one of the most memorable lunches we ever had, and absolutely incredible. So if you ever go to Tokyo, free guide.
Copy that, and thanks so much, Neil. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. All right, let's go on to Bob, N6 PGQ. Please send your picture when ready.
Okay, this is going to be stretching analog a bit, but this is PD 120 N6 PGQ.
All right, thanks, Bob. And 6PGQ. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Yankee. I'm going to go up to Neil, Kilo Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo. What do you think we have here?
What we have here, by the way, Kel 7HQR, good copy, just very few pops on the picture. Grassy background, obviously a plant with white bulbs and small, what appears to be purple tops. And I don't know what kind of plant it is. I wish my wife was here. She probably could name exactly what it is, but I have no idea what plants they are. But the copy was beautiful. No problem at all. Back to net.
Copy that, KL7HQR. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Yankee. So we'll move on to Anders, November Romeo 6 Hotel, NR6H. What do you think we have here?
This is NR6H, and I have a good copy, very good copy. A couple of pixel pops, actually a little more up in the top half than the bottom half. But we're looking at a lawn in the background with some kind of plant in the foreground, and with the clue about stretching analog that Bob said maybe these are not real, maybe they're plastic plants. Just a guess, but they look like kind of like I wonder if they're buds flower buds or if there's some kind of fruit. In Swedish, there is a plant called roseberry that kind of looks like this, but they have red bulbs or red berries. So not sure. They're kind of bitter, but you can make like jam on them or stuff like that. But yep, I have no idea. I'm rambling, so I'll leave it back to Net and R6H.
Thank you. NR6H, Kilo Indy 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City ARCS Slow Scan TV Net as I'm swiping at mosquitoes around my head. That meets 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. So, Bill, N6WLM, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, what do you think we have here?
Yeah, I'm stumped as everyone else. It does look like a plant. But to identify plants, you have to go outside, and I don't do that. It's not like ham radio; it's more of an inside hobby. So yeah, I'm stumped. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm interested to hear more about it. N6WLM, back to Net.
Thanks so much, Bill. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in here. This reminds me of Rhaphilepis indica when it has its bulbs on it, or blueberries that are not ripe yet. All right. So Bob, N6PGQ, what do we have here?
You forgot me.
Pardon?
Forgot me.
George, no, through everybody. I'm only going through 3 at a time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And that's only so that I can keep within the hour, so you all know. I try to keep us within the hour so we don't go to midnight. So instead of going through all 8 of us to make a comment, I take 3 people and do a comment, especially when we have 8 people. If we only had 3 or 4 people, then I'd probably go through everybody. But since we don't, we've got more people, then I'm trying to manage our time. I'm a time manager for the net control. So I'm going to move to Bob to explain it. And thanks, George, because I haven't told anybody that, so now I'm telling people. And 6PGQ.
Okay, Jen. Well, right at the last, you got it. These are almost ripe blueberries. We have about 4 blueberry bushes, and we've gotten about 12 blueberries that have ripened already. They're getting there. We'll see what happens in the hot weather in another week. But the analog part is you don't have to drive to the store. So these are blueberries in my backyard.
Copy that, Bob. They're looking great, and I'm sure they're going to be delicious. Actually, I love blueberries, and that's one of my favorite things to have before the season rolls around, to really good apricots and watermelons and that kind of thing. All right, NR6H, it is your turn to send us a picture. Are you ready to go?
I believe I am, and whoops, wrong one. And here comes PD120.
That's a pretty crisp picture. Thanks, Anders. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. KP4MD, Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta. Carol, what do you think we've got going here?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. Wow, this is, it looks like a road down between two rows of trees. This is probably on a farm, one of those farms where they have walnut or almond trees. I don't recognize what kind of trees these are, but there are just so many farms down the valley that have rows and rows and rows of these trees exactly perfectly spaced apart like that. And you got the perspective 230607, which is the European form of today's date on the left side next to the road, and then DE NR6H. You've got some really nice app that allows you to put that in perspective as if it were part of the ground there. Thank you very much for that, Anders. But perfectly good picture. I just see like maybe about 3 or 4 pixel pops. One that's right in the middle of the sky, and 2 or 3 that are in the green of the trees. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. Tom, are you out there? Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra.
This is Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I had trouble switching from my Bluetooth to my microphone. I think it worked this time. What Carol said is what I see, a row of trees on either side of a road. The road I find to be kind of a sand-colored road, so that's unusual for around here anyway. And I read the numbers that Carol sees on both sides and the call sign on the other side. I have a few pixel pops at the top as well, but the image came out pretty well. Hopefully you hear me. This is Whiskey 6 Browse here. Back to Net.
Tom, you're loud and clear, and thanks so much for your comments. George, N6YG, November 6, Yankee Golf. Your comments.
All right. Thanks for letting me know, too, about the... didn't mean to interrupt the net the last time around. But that makes sense. So you don't go over, drag the net on too long. Yeah, I'm just going to concur with what everybody else said. I like the way the text was added in perspective. I've got a little bit of a Morier pattern in the sky above the road that I don't see on the picture on YouTube. So I'm curious what's causing that here. I'm using a digital interface that I just built this last week. It's called Easy Digi. You can pick them up off of eBay, and it's just basically got an opto isolator on it. It's got a couple audio isolation transformers on it, and all the components you need to wire up a digital interface to isolate your radio from your computer. I've had it for probably 15 years and never used it, so I thought I'd give it a try, and it seems to be working relatively well. Like I said, I'm just curious about the Morier pattern, and the color of that road is very unusual. I'm not sure if that was altered or if that's natural. Is that like decomposed granite or something? I'm not sure. N6YG.
Thank you so much, George, and 6YG. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, November Romeo 6H NR6H Anders. Tell us what we got here.
Yeah, you are tracking it. The picture is not modified, well, except for the letters on the ground, obviously. But I didn't do anything else to the picture. I took this just a few hours ago. I had the pleasure of being down in the Visalia, Hanford region today for a meeting, and we went out in the field and walked around amongst the trees, and I took this picture. What's interesting is these are pistachio trees, and we're looking down between two of their fields here. There's one on the left and one on the right, and each one has about 70 trees on the side, and then on each side, I would say, so count 5,000-ish trees on each field, and then they have multiple fields, obviously. And behind us is a large reservoir for water where that's the stuff that I'm doing. I'm helping them doing the control and monitoring of the water distribution out on the field and all the valves that are in between the fields, so they're doing drip irrigation. But what's cool with this road is that this is pistachio shells. So when you are a big pistachio grower, you make multiple different products. You make, obviously, you sell pistachios as they are in their shell, as we are used to see them in the store. But they also make other products, right? So they make shelled pistachios, and they make various mixes, and they make paste and all kinds of other stuff with the pistachios. And from that, the byproduct are shells. So they have tons, and I'm not exaggerating, many, many tons of shells as a byproduct. And for years, these guys haven't figured out what to do with them until somebody said, let's just drop them on the roads in between the trees. And it turned out to be a slam dunk, because this is a great material to put on the road. And not only that, it also adds nutrients to the soil. So it turned out that this was actually a perfect way of reusing the shells, spreading it out on the fields and between the fields, using it for roads like this also. So this is the way it looks down in Hanford, Visalia, right a few hours ago. So that's it. NR6H, back to Net.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
KL7HUR, that's fantastic, Anders. Can you, I think you've been asked that before, you may have answered and I don't remember. Can you somehow give us a hint on how to do the layout of the text within the context of each picture? I noticed you've done that many, many times.
Yeah, Roger, it's not that difficult. I use a free software called Inkscape. That's INK, as in what you have in your pen, Inkscape. And like I said, it's free. I think it's cross-platform, exists for both Mac and PC and Unix and or Linux. And the trick is here to use a function called perspective. And basically, what you do is you draw a little rectangle based on how the perspective lies, and then you say that you want to map you want to run your other symbols, whatever it might be, if it's text or other graphics that you want to place inside of that perspective. So it's actually just a few clicks inside of Inkscape. INKscape. That's the thing. Inkscape.org, I believe, is the correct address. And R6H, back to
Sure, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Back to Net.
Thank you for the comments, and thank you, Andrew, for the pictures. So this is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. And we also have Alf that's joined us on his HT. And I don't think I mentioned that Craig is with us again as well. Carol, Bill. Sorry, Bill. N6WLM, it's your turn to shoot us a picture. Are you ready to go?
Roger that. This is November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike, and this will be PD 120.
I was hoping we'd get to see the peanut, and there you are. She's actually going to be a hamster, just so you know. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee and Neil KL7 HQR. You're the first one up. What do you think?
Wow, and I'm the first one up, KL7HQR. This is absolutely the best one that I've seen in all of the SSTV shows that we ever had. Congratulations. This is absolutely incredible. And for those of us who are going into 80 years old, you know, it's nice to see the new crop coming up. And absolutely, the only lid she will have will be a lid of good cooking that she will learn. As far as ham radio, she'll be an Elmer and an operator. Congratulations to K6KY and N6WLM. This is fantastic happening, and thank you so deeply for sharing that with us. Back to that.
Copy that, Neil. Thanks so much. Yeah. On quality of the picture, sharp, 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 and adorable. And so I'm going to move down to Bob, N6PGQ. What do you think?
Oh, congratulations are in order. And what I like is they have not left out the CW key right over her head. And hopefully, as she sleeps or something like that, you can have some code practice going in the background. Congratulations again. Quality's good. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. And Anders, NR6H. What do you think about the new ICOM peanut there? Super cute, huh?
Very much so. Congratulations. This is a big deal for sure. And yeah, it was 17 years ago I brought one of these home. Now the last one, but yeah, fantastic. Congrats. I don't know about the Baofeng there. That may be a call to Child Protective Services there, equipping such a innocent person with a Baofeng. But other than that, fantastic. Congrats. Good reception. And just a few pops in the black there. NR6H back to net.
Thanks so much, Anders. What a wonderful picture. N6WLM, Bill, tell us about your picture.
Thank you, everyone, for your warm wishes and your thoughts. We really appreciate it. We're excited when we came up with this idea for the SSTV announcement photo. So yes, this is the Hamlet Lilith Johansson Shaughnessy, and she's going to make a decision. Is she going to be a lid or an Elmer? And I don't call CPS on me, Anders. There is also Yaesu on the other side. That's a VX6, and above her is the Bencher key there. She has a Yaesu hat on and is donned with the ICOM shirt, which I love free swag, and that's all free swag, the ICOM and the Yaesu hat. So we're excited to share her with the world and expose her to ham radio and include you guys in the announcement here. So I really appreciate everyone, your thoughts, and yeah, it was fun to take the photo. So we'll see what kind of operator she ends up being. N6WLM back to that.
Thanks so much, Bill. That was a lovely picture. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net, 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. Right, Carol, you're up. KP4MD. Are you ready to send us a beautiful picture?
Yes, indeed, and this is going to be PD120.
India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and thanks, Carol, for that picture. Looky there. All right, Bill, N6WM. What do you think we got going on here?
Yeah, this looks like the site where field day might take place. It looks oddly familiar. I visited Neil and Bob when they were at the site there for the tractor days, and it looks kind of similar. So I'm going to guess this was either that day or maybe a year's previous field day. But no, yeah, there's a sign-up sheet there and some keys. So I'm going to think this was a tractor days, which was a really fun event. I brought the wife out, and I got to meet Bob and Neil in person. I guess if Carol, you were there, I missed you. But it looks like you're having fun. Maybe with a KX2 in your hand. I can't tell. And I think that's Dave from beautiful Grass Valley behind you, if I've recognized him. But yeah, looks like a fun time outside playing radio. I'm interested to hear more. N6WM, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. That's Dave in beautiful downtown Wilton. All right, Tom, Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra. What do you think's going on here?
This is Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I do think it's the farm and tractor. In the background is an outhouse, and to the right of that is a blue tractor. And I'm trying to make out what's on the table. It looks like a couple of CW keys. Carol, I believe, has a KX3 just because I know it's usually a KX3 there. And I don't know what the big radio on the left is that's sitting there facing the camera, so that's on display for everybody that comes up. It looks like there's a sign-in sheet right in front of Carol, and that's Dave in his go-kart, and Carol is sitting there, I believe, and a couple of cars in the background. So this is Dry Creek. This is where we're going to have field day. That's what I see.
Thanks, Tom and George, N6YG. What do you think's going on here?
I pretty much concur with what everyone has said. See Carol there. Looks like she's got the little Ellicraft in front of her. And I'm not sure what that is off to her right. It almost looks like an antenna analyzer maybe. But yeah, it looks like a field day event or something like that. I'm kind of looking forward. I haven't done field day in quite some time since my injury, so I might actually head out to a couple field day events this year. N6YG.
Thanks, George. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net, 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. So, Carol, KP4MD, come back and let us know what's going on here.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. This actually was a picture that Bob N6PGQ sent to me earlier today, I believe. And that was at the Dry Creek Ranch Farm and Tractor Days. I was there for one morning. I had to leave. I couldn't stay the entire day. That is a KX3, and in front of that there's a clipboard with a Morse code alphabet and the blanks to fill in the blanks to write your name in Morse code, and then use one of those two code practice oscillators there. That was an activity for the public to come by and try their hand at Morse code. Yes, and I believe that device that's by my right hand there, I think that's a Rig Expert, if I'm not mistaken. That's Bob's, N6PGQ's Rig Expert. And then next to that, you see an old Swan. I don't know if that's a 250. It's the Swan HF transceiver. Vintage was kind of like a cheaper version of the Drake type of transceivers that use sweep tubes in the final. So that's, I'm sure, is Bob's. He brings that for it wasn't hooked up or anything, but just for demonstration. And on top of that, there's a little carrying case for the buddy stick antenna that we were trying to find out why it wasn't quite working, but we finally got it working okay. So yep, and that's Dave Martin there from beautiful downtown Wilton in the background. It was a beautiful day that day. So back to Nets, KP4MD.
thanks so much for your picture, Carol. Looks like fun. Hopefully we'll have that lovely shade and a cool breeze on the days that we're going to be out there this year. Right, Tom, W6BS, W6, Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra. Are you ready to send a pic?
This is Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra. I think I will pass, and Jen, if you have one to do, go ahead. I do have something. I was not home last week, so we were at a particular location, but we're running close to your 1 hour time limit, so I'll pass.
Oh no, you're first. Go ahead.
All right, well, let me set up.
Copy that.
It'll be PD 120 when I get it.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much.
Comment in between.
Neil?
Roger, before we go and close the net, I mentioned on the 10-meter net how much Carol was missed. And I want to add here not only how much we appreciate the efforts that Jenny and Wilson put in getting the YouTube going. They consider it as a negative. Everybody else considered it a tremendous success. So we want to say thank you. And along with that, I want to say, as far as that signing sheet that's in front of Carol, I would like to acknowledge incredible ability that Bob, N6PGQ, has with kids. He takes that little piece of paper and makes them go into a tremendous interest in ham radio and CW. My picture last week was a young girl that came in, went through that, and got so excited, brought her father to do it himself to see if he could do it. So thanks, guys. You guys make the club really glow. Back to Net.
Thanks so much, Neil. I certainly missed Carol, and I definitely need some more practice on doing the slow scan TV. Both Wilson and I still have to figure out the audio with Carol so we can get that right. All right, thanks so much, you guys, and back to Tom to see if he's ready to send a picture. Tom, are you there? Whiskey 6, Bravo Sierra. Is your headset having a moment again? We'll hang out here for a moment and see if he can get his picture up. Meanwhile, Carol, do you have any other comments for this evening?
Yeah, I think you just doubled with Tom.
Copy that, Carol. Tom, are you ready to go?
Yeah, no, I'll try PD 120, and I believe I had it ready. I got to flip back to Bluetooth to do it, though. Just a second. All right, well, that was a failed attempt. I'll have to try it again another week. It was going, but was not transmitting.
Yeah, we got a little blip there, and then it blipped off, so I'm not sure what's going on. Well, I'm going to keep to my promise here of respecting everybody's time, and it is 10 p.m., so I want to thank everybody who participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net, and also congratulate Bill, and thank you, Carol, for coming back and taking care of things again. I really appreciate that. And we hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m., including our fans out there on our Slow Scan TV YouTube channel. Thank you for being consistent and coming back to see what we've got. Really appreciate that. We hope to see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. again at 441-300. And the net is officially closed at 10:01. This is Jennifer, Kilo India 1, Tango, Tango Yankee, wishing all of you a good evening and 73. And thanks again for all your stories and pictures tonight.